Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new market update. Today, we're going to discuss Bitcoin and we're going to discuss a few altcoins as I've asked for that on Twitter. As you can see on the back of here, we got an Ajax jersey. That is because tomorrow it's Ajax Feyenoord. Not really a very special match as Ajax is going to win easily, but still, it is one of the biggest matches in the Netherlands. That's why it stays there until the game is over. If you are not a subscriber yet, become a subscriber beneath here through ringing the bell, and also do not forget to follow me on Instagram. What do we see on the market right now? We do see that the overall momentum on Bitcoin is relatively becoming calm. We just had a very large impulse wave as Bitcoin rallied from 10k to 41.9k. And since then we are in a range-bound construction in which we have discussed that range-bound construction is most likely going to happen to have reaccumulation and to actually build strength in order to continue rallying afterwards. And once the volatility starts to drain away from Bitcoin, the volatility starts to come into the altcoins. And that's why allocating towards altcoins is already the game since December. We see them popping left and right. And people will definitely call an alt season when the altcoins are already up significantly. So once they become into the spotlight and everybody is shouting altcoins and all your friends are actually saying that they make a bunch of money with altcoins, that's the moment that you're already going to sell your portions, as that's probably already late in the phase or in the stage. So today we're going to discuss what Bitcoin is most likely going to do, and I'm going to discuss Polkadot and T-Sols. And we can actually see that Bitcoin is still consolidating inside this range construction. If we zoom out, everything is still up significantly, and it starts to look a lot like the period we had during the halving and during August. Just a range-bound construction, maybe also this area here, which is natural, which is fine, which is needed and organic for a market like we are in order to continue moving in general. Bitcoin in itself, we have discussed it. 30k range is the range low area where we want to find support, which we did. After that, flipped 33k, continued to rally up. Next to that, we have a range bound resistance area around 40k that Bitcoin has to break in order to continue rallying. However, we did not break, and therefore I've made this squiggly during the live stream during the past week, in which the most likely case is that we're just going to consolidate inside this range construction. And we see that we got towards the level that had to hold, which is around 35k. It is currently holding. However, what you want to see is that we're continuing the upward strength through breaking this range here. So still this area here is the critical area to break through, which is around 38 to 38.5. If that breaks, we are most likely going to have a fake out above 40k, maybe 42k, new all-time high, in which we are getting this scenario. So if we go back into history, you can actually see that during the halving period, we also saw that the price of Bitcoin comes down to test support again, range low construction, as that's the daily OB. After that, a fake out, so more compression and continuation. Given that the dollar is also strengthening up for a little bit, we might be getting the phase of August last year, in which we made another drop down. But overall, you can see that we are chopping, and that's also currently the phase with Bitcoin. If we break through 38k, the most likely case is that we're going to test this range high around 40 to 42k, maybe take a fake out or get a fake out and further consolidation before any of the higher time frame Bollinger Bands squeeze or moving averages come into play, and that's when the next impulse wave starts. And until then, we know that altcoins are doing well. So levels to watch for Bitcoin, that's this 34k to 35k range. We also have this 38k zone that is currently resistance, and if that breaks, we are looking at 40 to 42k. If 35k is lost, we are most likely taking liquidity around 30k. Polkadot is one of the projects that's doing really well, and we have been discussing this previously. We have been discussing that Polkadot is probably one of the biggest gainers for 2021, and we can also see that it's currently doing really well. We did see the retest at 750 as we gave this squiggly. You can also see why you do not have to focus on the time frame of these squigglies, as they are often just to show how the price action in itself is going to move. Based on this move we have here, we actually made a new Fibonacci extension. And we can see that given this impulse wave we have here, we made one target hit. Second impulse wave we got here, we made one from the low until this recent high, target hit. Most likely we're getting to the top of this one soon. Also hanging with the fact whether Bitcoin is going to consolidate or drop down a little, that usually drops the altcoin significantly. But Polkadot is significantly rallying here, which is beautiful. Right now it's just simply not an entry. If we check lower time frames, you generally want to see 1450 become support, in which we are getting a consolidation and a continuation. If 1450 is not going to hold for support, you are looking at the area around 12 bucks again, and that's granting a new opportunity once again. Polkadot against Bitcoin, we see that the strength is coming from the Bitcoin pair. Originally I was expecting more consolidation to occur on Polkadot in itself after this flip. Did not happen. We get a breakthrough on the level around 32k sats. We are currently approaching resistance zones, which is this area here. The first one. After that we've got the all-time high region. So most likely we have one more move and then we are going to consolidate. First entry point is here, second entry point is here. If that is lost, I think we're going to look at 26k, but that is if we are losing any of these two regions. You can also see that we have confluence in any of these two areas here, through which Polkadot is once again currently not an entry zone, but you're looking at lower time frames and higher time frames entry points based on historical price action. And if you are only going to be patient to take the entry from there, you're already increasing your risk reward ratio instead of FOMOing into Polkadot right now. Another one that is actually waking up, that is Tezos. Only slightly, as we do have this bullish divergence here. Nothing bullish actually on the chart itself. It did lose every support level here, so most likely we are going to get such a compression before we are actually going to see any momentum. But Tezos is waking up, which is fine. We wanted to see this area hold here, which it did, and now we are most likely, actually you can see that we're getting into a resistance area. We might push a little higher until this block here, and then get a scenario like this. And then the next breakout is going to be the impulse wave. But we flipped the level, most likely going to consolidate a little bit. Also not an entry right now based on the USDT pair, Bitcoin pair might be. And the final one that we're checking here is Link. As Link reached and followed the scenario that we have done and posted on Twitter, it's following through, most likely facing resistance right now. But given that we see this strength in the Bitcoin pair, we know that the USDT pair is doing fine, and we might be accelerating towards 25 bucks a little bit more before we're doing the exact same thing. So what is the conclusion of this video? Altcoins do well, and they do well when Bitcoin consolidates. They probably will extend that strength during the later phase of this year. However, if Bitcoin consolidates, these will drop significantly as everything corrects then. So taking partial profits when something goes 2x is not a bad job. It's all about compounding your profits. If you want to increase your portfolio, make a plan, take the profits, take some profits out of your account, put it into an investment portfolio, and enjoy the ride. I'll see you again tomorrow.